Steve, we're almost there, another few hours, and we're going to be recording. How did you find working with Marie and I?
Well,
And be honest.
I'd have to be. I've had an already always about real estate agents, and it was not nice. I've just always felt that I've been not properly served by real estate agents. And there seems to be a certain amount of uncontrollable influences that occur when you try to sell a property, and then a person can either take that information and make of it any way you want. So getting into the sale of this property really was like bringing back a lot of negative feelings. But when I first met you and Marie, I felt like this is going to be different. This is a different relationship. This is really someone looking out for the seller. And I've gotten to sell properties in other states, and maybe laws were different, but I really felt like our interests were being served by both of you. And I can honestly say, in terms of communicating with us and keeping us informed of everything that was going on, and it was a marathon process, I never, for 1 minute, felt like, well, what's going on? And by not having that feeling of, like, I'm in limbo and I don't know what's happening, it really makes it so that you feel, okay, they're on it, they're doing what they need to do, and I'm not on a back burner. And that was very reassuring and very comforting. And ultimately, every time we got to a place where there was papers and had to be moved around, I just felt like my people really know what they're doing. So I was very comfortable and felt very, very confident that we were being treated fairly, and our interests were top priority for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you. Were there any surprises during the
The
trip?
biggest surprises are that you think that you have the world's best house, and then nobody else seems to agree with you. So when you get past that one, and you begin to recognize that there are some things that people are not going to like about your property, and you get a little bit of reality.
Would you have done anything differently?
Probably the most significant thing is for a person to be able to come to terms and be at peace with the idea that a price reduction is going to be the fastest way to sell your property. And it wasn't as though I was adverse to it. It just seemed like the way the market was, we were just running a little bit behind in terms of what people were willing to pay at any particular time. And after enough time went by, for my wife and I think we just came to terms with saying, okay, this is not going to happen if we continue to hold for what we think the house is worth, because it's really irrelevant. It's what buyers are going to think it's worth.
A little bit about pricing and what your experience was, and what you feel now about pricing a home.
I think we need to recognize that as much as we believe that our property is worth X, the mantra that exists in the real estate world is it's not what it's worth to you, it's what people would consider it worth to them. Mm-hmm. And that takes, again, like a little bit of a mind shift to come to terms with that. So when we first priced our house, we priced it according to some of the earlier sales that had happened before for comparable models, and we figured, well, we have all these nice features, it's definitely worth this. And it wasn't going anywhere. So we made the decision, okay, we're going to reduce price, but we somehow never sort of got ahead of the curve. And so I think we were guilty of chasing the market down for a while, until we finally got to what people considered to be a fair market value for that property. And I think a seller has to recognize it really doesn't matter what you've done to your property, because you did that because you wanted to do that and you wanted to enjoy living that way. But the property is going to have an intrinsic value just because of where it's located and the floor plan, and it doesn't really matter how much you've put into decorating and custom detail in your house. Those things are not going to be deciding factors for making a buyer come across with a price that you think is worth it. They're going to still be looking at it in terms of how many bedrooms, where they're located, and where's the property and what street it is and how big the lot is.
And the school district.
And the school district. So ultimately, I think we need to always recognize that if you want to get the sale done, price it.
Well, we really enjoyed working with you very much, and we're just going to wish you well in your move.
Thank you very much.